For me, all the couture shows were like procession, religion, and with the most beautiful girls in the most crazy attire, in the most beautiful things you can imagine. But my pleasure of clothes was in mixing and matching all the periods, all the embroideries. Like we have next to all a pilgrimage for gypsies called Sainte Marie de la Mer, and because after the Christ crucifixion, the saint is cousin family on a boat, and they arrived in Camargue. Marie Salomé and Marie Jacobet with their maid, who was a gypsy. And all the gypsy from the world are still coming each May, each October, in the crypt, in the church. And all these gypsies family, still now, bring nice coat, more or less, in very cheap, vulgar plastic now, and with ugly pearls, but wonderful pearls. And each family it's exactly like the performance. I know that Victor and Rolf didn't see this statue, but they did the performance with the girl covered and covered and covered. And as a child, it was fascinating for me. And several crowns. She had crowns, jewels.
I looked at the kind of the rugger nails that you get like in Dalston or in Brixton, and we went to these shops where you can really find them and started buying catalogues. And then I quite liked the way they were catalogued. So then I had the actual dots of what's available and what's not available, and used that as part of the actual embroidery. So in a way, it was using a vulgar ingredient, you can say, and quite a tacky, quite a kind of kitsch ingredient, but you didn't necessarily know what it was when you first looked at it. So for me, it was also playing around with the connotations of something that you may know in the back of your mind, but using it in a very different context.
I never invented anything. I'm not the guy who thought, oh, I want to do any conceptual shape. I didn't invent it, the three sleeves suit. I was just totally fascinated and I can say totally sick with the past. And as a little boy, the very first day I understood that some things happened before my birth. I was totally shocked. I was sure that it was the very first, but I was 3 or 4 or 5, and you'll cut it perhaps, but I was ill, and just next door there were a very nice magazine shops. And the woman was very, very nice, very kind. And she gave my grandmother some old issues from, issues from Mickey Mouse magazine. And I was able of reading, and I thought it was from 1947. I was knowing that it was 51. I said, oh, Mickey was existing before me. And I was more and more fascinated by anything connected with the past of my family first. Though I was totally in their photos, in their old books, in the attic. And till now, I think one part of myself is still living in the past and in the Vulgar in a sense, because it was everything connected with everyday life. I became very soon fascinated by the way people used to be before through photos and then canvas, of course. And at that time, my grandmother, for instance, was still wearing part of the costume she had, or the shawl, or something in her hair. A lot of old ladies were still in long skirts, not colorful, it was all black because they were mourning, but there were still a link. And I was totally fascinated when I discovered that I was able of talking with people who had grandparents alive in the 18th century. that was possible for my generation with very old people, especially Madame Calment. You heard about her, the very old age. She was my grandmother neighbor. So art was timeless for me. So it was like a boulevard to the past.